We've got a menu here without a name on it. So if you can work out, somebody ordered mushrooms, salmon, or fish rolls.
I haven't learned to write. I could only tick things, but I can't write my name.
Well, for those who've already submitted their menus, there's now chocolate gateau on there, which wasn't on there originally. So if you want to change your mind, don't upset me now. Yeah, but I'm saying,
I know, yeah. Kill me.
then you can go and change your mind afterwards, okay, if you need to add that on. Well, I was going to apologise to Alex because several of our members are not here tonight. They're on holidays or whatever. But he's brought all his groupies. So a warm welcome to you. And this is a first, I'm sure, for you to come to Tuesday Group. Yes. Usually we don't have anybody under... Oh, I have to be careful. Yes. 55? Yeah, that's okay. Yes, if we're lucky. Usually it's a lot more, but anyway. Of course, the main attraction is Alex, who's going to tell us what it was like being brought up in Wenvoe. Of course, Alex has lived here for many years, but we know very well we're still not local, are we? So, welcome to Tuesday Group, Alex. It's lovely to see you.
Okay. Well, some of you know me. I'm Alex Cooper, and I've lived in the village most of my life. Thank you for inviting me here, and the amount you're going to pay me at the end is I don't normally do public speaking, only normally as a defendant in court. But I thought I would have had a reserved place in the car park, actually, but there are. And I also see that the tickets have been selling on eBay. Okay. Any people here with family who've got secrets, devious secrets, better leave now, because I know everything about all the people. So for me, it all started 26th of January 1950, and I'd like just to show you the picture, if you hand it round, of Wenvoe as it was when I was born. That said, I was born in the higher class area named Turner. I was actually born at number 3 Chapel Terrace, which is now a converted chapel next to it, a huge chapel next to it, well there was, and I was born, there was a vestry where the chapel, where they used to have services till 1956, and I was born in a flat above that. The actual chapel itself was huge. I often used to wonder, because we'd go into the vestry and I think, oh, it's a large chapel next door, you could never get in there because the door was always shut. And one day I managed it. I'll tell you what, it was absolutely massive. There were many, many pews. There was even a balcony of pews. And it hadn't been used as that for years. In fact, one of the speakers in the chapel many years ago was the MP George Thomas. So, my first memory, I remember we used to have oil lamps. And my first memory was waking up. And I looked up at the ceiling, I can always remember, and I had a light shade with Muffin the Mule on it. I always remember that. Of course, you can't muffin mules nowadays because you couldn't get in trouble. There were the oil lamps, and also, my first memory was the flags outside Turner for the coronation of Queen Elizabeth in 1953. And if you look on page 92, you'll actually see the flags outside Chapel Terrace. In front of where we lived, there was a big blue pool. Some of you probably remember it. It was caused by many years previously. There'd been a spring leak in the quarry, and the pool, they had to stop working there. I think it was back in the 1920s. And there was a huge pool, and it was a limestone pool, and it was very deep, and of course if you got into it, it could be pretty dangerous. Luckily I never got into it.
Sorry about that, Al. Sorry about that.
I was always told to stay away from the quarry. It had railings around it. It's still got the railings there now. Obviously it's thick because it's really dangerous. Now my grandmother and grandfather had a cat called Perky. And she lived for 21 years on the Tubby. And you could see her some days because in the pool there would be like floating timber and things like that. And you'd see this cat on the floating timber attacking the rats in the quarry. She was really ferocious, brilliant cat. We also had a cat called Eddie. And just trying to think now, what's the highest point of turning rod in? That's my wife there.
No, is it 391 or
391, yeah.
You drummed it into me.
That was a setup.
Where the quarryman's monument is, the height by there is 391 feet above sea level. And our cat Eddie, nothing used to go up there. It was so remote when I was a kid up there that our cat Eddie, one day we were walking up to a reservoir house where my grandfather and grandmother lived, and he managed to find one of the only lorries ever to go up that day. He got run over. No vehicles. My grandfather used to say that when they had the doctor, it cost them 2 and 6, which is 12.5 pence today. The vehicles I remember are Eddie the Baker. I don't know if you remember him. Fred Eddie died 3 years ago, actually, at the age of 93. 2 buses a week to turn a rod in Western Welsh. They went by, turn a rod into Dyffryn, and that's all it was. That's the buses. There was a company called Thomas and Evans, who used to deliver all the groceries. Yeah. And our milk came on a horse and cart from Visual Farm. Lottie Lewis was the farmer, and his daughter Valerie used to deliver the milk on a horse and cart. And that went on for many years. In fact, even when I was living in Reckley Close, the milk was delivered on horse and cart. We also had, I always remember coming up the path from Greenwood's Quarry up there, Johnny Onion Man would come. And also a knife sharpener on his bike. On Turner Rod in there you had, just below me, there was just below the chapel, there was a house called Rock House, which had previously been a shop. And this shop was owned by a man called Mr. Thomas. And he used to grow raspberries. And I used to call them rabbies. And I used to go down, so I used to go down to Rock House and I used to see him. And he used to give me let me pick some raspberries. I was only about 3 or 4 then. There was Hawthorne Cottage, which is still there. Next door to my grandmother lived next door to us. That was Nana Williams. My other grandparents lived, as I say, at Reservoir House. Next door to us was Mrs. Merrifield, who had an Airedale Terrier. Yeah, remember? My grandfather, we knew Arthur Williams. I don't know whether some of you will remember Arthur Williams, perhaps. He used to tell lies. And I always remember him saying to us, I had 16 or 17 brothers and sisters. When we looked into it, he was the 21st of 22 children. So my great-grandmother and grandfather, who I didn't know, they lived on, how can I say, you know, behind the horse and jockey. And then to the left, there's Seaview Terrace, the end house there. So my grandfather was the 21st, and as he said to me, some of them had gone out the front door when he came in the back door. So my great-grandparents had 22 children. They all survived. I knew many of them, and that's why I was related to everyone in the village, really. One of his brothers was Will the Winder, who was the winder of the shaft at the Sengenid College disaster, bringing the bodies up. And funny enough, many years later, there was a haulage contractor in Swansea who came down to visit my brother. They didn't know him, and he was one of the sons of one of the brothers. He owned this big haulage company. He'd walk in at my grandparents' house, and he'd walk along, and they'd have a good chat, a good laugh, and all of a sudden, then as he'd walk in out, there'd be a £20 note on the floor. And he used to say, "Whose is this?" You know. Oh, it must be yours, said to my grandfather. You are 20, I don't know, but he was so rich, he used to just put money about him. Because it was very poor. I mean, people didn't have any money, I then had, frightened me a bit. I had a granny, a great granny, who I still remember, and her name was Granny Thomas. And that was my nana lives next door, that was her mother. Now Granny Thomas, I should see her coming into the flat. She used to bring us sandwiches and things, and she always dressed in a black coat, and her hands were like shriveled up like that, you know what I mean? She had really bad arthritis. I think the reason was she was 96 years old. And I used to think she was a witch. I'm only 3 years old, so I should throw things at her down the stairs. I remember once I threw some soap downstairs and landed one of the sandwiches. I got told off for that. Anyway, she was 96. Her husband died many years previously, and she was so poor that she actually lived in a wooden shack just up from Wenvoe Cottage. She had no money, there was no social security, there was, nothing like that sort of thing, She was actually Granny Reagan, because she was from Ireland. She came over from the potato famine. And she used to make a homemade wine, even at the age of 96. And this one day, one summer afternoon, she started to have a few tots of this homemade wine, and she drank too much. She went out in the back garden, drunk, fell over, broke a femur, and died a few days later. So you can say she died drunk.
And happy.
And that's been handed down to me. My grandmother next to us was Fanny Angel. Her surname was Angel. And if you just look at page 98, you see a picture of her nephew, Sybil Angel. Sybil always used to say to me that the family owned part of New York. And apparently there was some connection with the Angel family in New York. And he reckoned we owned part of Manhattan.
You met him, yeah.
He used to actually write to different people in America and try to claim this land of Manhattan. It never worked. So at Turner Rod and then Hawthorne College down in Portland, and there was Mr. Thomas with the Barbies, the big chapel, us, Nana, Mrs. Merrifield, and then there was the horse and jockey. Well, I didn't start drinking until I was 10. There were stables there, which I never, the horses must have been there prior to me being born, because I never saw any horses in that stable. I used to get, the landlord and landlady was Sam and Stacia Britton. I don't know whether anyone remembers that. They were there for years, and they used to give me crisps and pop and not the dog. And it was so remote, and my grandfather used to say that in the 20s, when the pub was open, it was owned by a guy called, I can't remember his name now, Musty. And he said that what used to happen on Friday, the quarrymen would get paid their pay, and they used to start drinking on Friday outside on Chapel Terrace, back in the 20s and 30s. Used to get drunk and everything, because no police in those days. If they were, they wouldn't come for a couple of days. So there we used to walk up to the Reservoir House, and we had a dog called George, a French bulldog, which nowadays is a designer dog. People got these dogs; they're a couple of £1,000 each. My father bought him because the High Court judge says, or Crown Court judge says in the assizes that this lady who'd been attacked, get a French bulldog. So we had a French bulldog in 1953. That French bulldog from Buryport in Llanelli cost 25 quid, which was a lot of money. And he was mad anyway. So anyway, we'd walk up to the Reservoir House to see my grandparents. My grandfather was the in charge of the reservoir up there, which is still up there, and he used to be the sort of keeper, and they lived in Reservoir House. And I always remember they had geese and all this, and these geese were pretty nasty. Like, they had to get them in when you were going up there. They used to go towards you to attack you, you know what I mean? They also had in their house a candlestick phone, because he was in the waterworks. It was the only phone there in the whole Turner Rod, apart from the old telephone box, Wenvoe 211. That telephone box was. From Turner Rod and then, Well, my grandfather he was eventually chairman of the Wenvoe House Council. For years and years, he used to walk the footpaths at Wenvoe, because as long as you could prove that you walked the footpath within a certain period of time, that footpath had to stay open. If landowners found that no one had walked it, or they could prove no one had walked it, they could close it down. He walked every footpath every year to keep the footpaths open. In the winters we had then were far, far worse. I remember as a kid, you know. They used to have to, from Wenvoe, from Turnerod, they had to walk down to Wilson Road to get their bread. And the summers were far better, because I remember my uncle saying to me that when the droughts, they used to have to pick up water from the Tawas well. There was a well on Tawas Lane going up to the Walston Quarry, and they used to have to pick up the water from there and take it home on the way home from school, like with a bucket and all that. It's possible now, I don't know, but I was born there in 1950, and I looked around and I can't find anyone who was born in the hamlet of Turnerod before me. But I may be wrong. Anyway, as I say, we had, in 1953, my father won £95 on the pools, which was, and he bought a Philips television for 105 guineas, black and white, 21 inch. Well, no one had 21 inches in those days. It was like, it was only 10-inch bush tellies people had. People came from miles around to see Ragtag and Bobtail. Although we used to go to services at the vestry, I always remember, I don't think I was very religious, because one day, remember Cynthia Reynolds in Rectory Close? Well, her son, John, was my second cousin, because we're all related anyway. And one day he came up and we decided that we'd start to throw stones into the blue pool in front of us to see how much of a splash we could make. Well, we weren't doing very well. So we thought, what should we do? What should we do to make a good splash? So we went in the vestry and got a few hymn books. And we actually started to throw them to see what splash. Well, I was only 3, he was 5, he had a hammer, and I got away with it really. He was the instigator. After a couple of years, my brother came along and split the inheritance. And, I remember once that it was always thought we were coming down from Nana's, this is where we lived in Melbourne, coming from Nana's, and he fell out the car. Well, did he fall? In fact, he still got the scars. Just between the chapel and Rock House, there was another house owned by another Mrs. Williams, not related to us, and her son Bernard. I don't know, Bernard used to live in Rectory Close, I don't know whether you remember Bernard. Well, Bernard used to work for Howells, and he used to pinch the valves for televisions. So we used to get them cheap off him. Nowadays, the valves were that high. Mullard valves, they were that tall. Nowadays, there's no such thing. Then, in the summer months, when the weather was good, Dad used to take me down the lane. We'd go down to Moor Cross, and there'd always be a chap on a bike there with ice cream in front of him, a Wall's ice cream bike. And we always went down there, and people would be pulling in from Barry Island, and they'd pick up their ice cream. There was an air raid shelter up there, I still remember going to the playing field, and there was still the air raid shelter there, which you could sort of mosey your way into. There were strings there, and there was this air raid shelter with a pipe coming out of it for air, even in the early 50s. There was a prohibited, my grandfather had this prohibited motor vehicle sign put just by the pub, but just where our houses were, because he didn't want all the people in the pub going, parking down in front of Chapel Terrace. So Sam, they always got on well really, but Sam the landlord used to get a sack and put it over the top of his perimeter. And then my grandfather would go up and take it off. That was good. One of my grandfather's brothers was Uncle Ivor, that was Cynthia Reynolds' father. Okay? And he actually built, if you go up through the woods past Walston Quarry up to Turnerod Inn, there's a pathway. And I know there's a lot of grass there now, but there was a stone path, and his brother built that path by himself. So apparently, according to the Wenvoe list, said you can now call it Uncle Ida's Path.